the end of the day, it's the characters in the story that you're going to invest in and follow. You know, a story can be great, but if the characters don't really stand out and don't really function together as in this ensemble, then you know, a lot of that can get lost. And they fit together so well creatively.
9 people stuck in this fallout shelter with some kind of cataclysmic event that we don't know what it is. We don't have answers. The only communication with the outside is a sense of aggression and violence, and we're stuck. When they approached me and they said they want to take a meeting, they want to talk to you about Adrian. So I read the script again and I said, you know, that's really similar to what I do on this TV show Heroes. I can't repeat myself. If I'm going to step outside of a job that I've done for 4 years, playing a very heartfelt, soulful character, I don't want to go into another project playing a very heartfelt, soulful character. It came up that Josh, they were looking for a Josh. And again, picked the script back up and read it and was like, okay, this is the guy. I had to fight for it. Xavier, I think, of course, the first time around, he saw me as a Sam, as an Adrian, a soulful, heartfelt character. And he didn't see me as the guy that goes completely dark and is capable of the really, really horrific things that Josh is doing in the film. So I had to go in and take a meeting, and bless Xavier, he's like, so at the end, I said, no, man, conversation ends with this. Let's talk about Josh, and thank you very much, and walked out, and then they said, well, would you read? Would you go on tape? And I'm like, oh, okay, gotta jump through hoops to get this one. But I did, and I went in and scared the hell out of Xavier. And at the end he said, well, I would like to know what you are doing the next 2 months because it would be great. And I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Well, my role is Adrian, tortured artist, brother of Josh. Adrian's a sweet, sensitive guy, I think, who I think the audience really sort of sees the world of this fallout chamber through the eyes of Adrian as well as Eva. Adrian's very much the level-headed one, along with Eva in this story, and so it makes sense that they sort of have a spark of a relationship.
I always thought, you know, if there's any time in the entire script where she just can forget about the misery of what's going on for at least a couple minutes, it's those few times with Adrian. Do you ever know those people who are in relationships but they both know it's over, but they just stay together because they're not strong enough to break up with the other person, or they're not strong enough to leave, and they just, I mean, I know so many people like that. And I think even Sam became that months before the movie actually starts. You know, she had been a heavy drug user and an alcoholic, and I could see where Eva would want to find somebody who's just the opposite of everything that had been tumultuous and painful in her past. Just someone who's safe, who's secure, who's calm, and that's everything that Sam is. I think in a way Eva's like a broken little girl, even though she comes off so strong at times, you know. I think inside she just wants to be like loved and hugged, and maybe didn't get that, and Sam provides all of that.
Well, Sam is young French lawyer. He went to the United States to work, and he fell in love with Eva. Sam restrains his animal instinct because he's a student, he's a lawyer, he is an intellectual.
She's 11, and she is really immature for her age, about maybe a year younger. So she really hides in the arms of her mother, Marilyn.
If there was an end of the world, and I hope there isn't ever, Bobby's the guy you exactly want in a bomb shelter with you. You can rely on Bobby to make it a good time. At the beginning of the film, and as the film progresses, he's probably the guy you least want in a bomb shelter with you. There's a scene in the film when we have to chop up a dead body, and nobody wants to do it. And so Bobby steps up because he thinks he's the man that can do it. And he's confident that he can chop up a dead body because I'm sure he's seen it, many times. And TV and movies, and then when he has to do it himself, it's a lot more real and painful than he probably originally thought. And so after he does that, that's when Bobby slips.
He was a fireman. He was involved in 9/11, and a bunch of his men were killed. Started drinking and lost his job, lost his family, and he's just kind of lives by himself. Very angry man. There's this scene where we're doing tomorrow where they're torturing him, and I say, you can do anything you want to me, because they're trying to get information from me, and I say, you can do anything you want to me, and you can kill me, and that's the thing, is I don't care. I don't care if I die. As a matter of fact, I kind of want to die, you know. He's almost like a slow suicide. He's just kind of killing himself slowly.
They want us to lose weight because we don't have a lot of food in the bomb shelter, and we're shooting this film in, I think, 30 days, and I think it's been 30 days since we basically had a real meal, so psychologically, you kind of, we're all kind of going crazy too.
Go way beyond anything I imagined, you know. I mean, they're all dieting, they're all pushing their bodies, they're all pushing their emotions, they're pushing their psychological health.
You starve yourself, you don't eat, you go to the gym, you're tired, you go to the gym after a 12-hour day, but you do it, and you get used to it, and you start making a list of everything you're gonna eat when it's done. Ivan and I have been sitting down, making a list. It's on my phone, it's called Foods I Want to Eat, and I think it's pretty long at this point. My Italian blood is craving pasta, and I haven't had any of that in 4 or 5 weeks. Strip of sugars. Sugars are gone. Strangely, I feel sharper, more focused. I think a high fatty diet clouds your mind. I'll tell you what I haven't had in a long time. Chocolate.
We're not starving. More or less. Our producers are taking care of us, and they call a nutritionist, and we are following a plan of a diet. We're trying to lose some weight. We are losing some weight. I've already lost 2 sizes.
The diet, we actually kind of liked it.
Yeah, because we had to control each other. Every time we went to eat somewhere, the private joke was to ask Michael, oh, Michael, there's cheesecake, can I have some?
No.
No.
How many did you?
19.
19? You didn't lose 19 pounds.
Shoes off, weighing in the morning. No, not holding an iPod. Yeah.
Where was all that weight? Your ass?
No.
But it's good. I mean, the diet and just the workload and the emotional things that go on, it's just helped to think, to feel, I think, how she should feel at each moment. You know, just when I think I'm exhausted, I can't go anymore, I come on to set and we're doing a scene where I'm exhausted and I just feel like I can't go anymore.
And then when we're finished, you know, we're gonna pig out. My instincts is, I'd like to take my wife into the bomb shelter with me, but if it was this bomb shelter with these people, I wouldn't want my wife to be there. Earplugs is what I would bring. A good set of earplugs. Because I think that could save your life down there.
I bring my Bible. I'll be all right. That's all I need.
My girlfriend.
It would probably be something very special to me, like my brother. He's had a little stuffed animal since he was little, and he doesn't sleep with it anymore, but it's just like, it's on the chair, and it's kind of something you don't want to throw away. So I would probably bring that, or just like grab a pillow and run, or something like that. Like when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm holding a pillow. Or as Wendy does, I have a stuffed animal, something to kind of remind me of what my past life was.
Not to get totally selfish, you know, I mean, a Leatherman would be nice, but a little pocket knife. Yeah, I'd say loved ones, you know. If you're surrounded with people that you care about, again, they're going to keep you in check and they're going to support you, and it's probably a much easier situation than 8 randomly seeming strangers. So I'd love to have loved ones.
I don't know. I really don't know. I probably would bring my wife. Well, I don't think I could bring her. She will come by herself, which is a better way to put it. Yeah, I think I will ask her, do you want to die with me on a Fallout?
Oh, I don't know, my iPod? A sketchbook? Deodorant and soap.
Why are you wearing a condom on your head?
I just wanted him to feel support so that he didn't feel ridiculous alone. We could feel ridiculous together.
Milo's a good castmate.
Yes. I'm here for him.
They needed to do they were doing a bald head piece. Well, they use stuff called alginate that's known, the dentists use to do teeth casts with. I think it's made out of seaweed, kelp and gelatin. Mix that together and it sets very quickly, and you apply it to the victim, the actor, and then you put the, it's like a kind of a disposable skin, like a kind of rubber. It sets 5 minutes. And then that gets covered in plaster bandage, which is a reinforcement, creates like a shell. And you pull apart the shell and you take the alginate off and you put it back together, seal it up, and then you fill it with ultracal, like a form of kind of cement. And from that, the guys make their prosthetics. They sculpt them so it fits perfectly onto the actor. People that like to be in control often are the ones that panic the most, because you're not used to having all your senses incapacitated for a bit, except you can just kind of hear, but your eyes are covered and you're just breathing through your nose, and obviously they have to trust the person doing it. Courtney, I think that's the first face cast he did, and he wasn't used to it, so at first he panicked a bit because he was distracted and wasn't listening to me when I said, Courtney, this is what's going to happen, because he was playing on his phone, and then eventually he relaxed, and then he fell asleep with the live cast on, and then we woke him up, and then we took it off. So we did Abby, and she's about, I think she's 11, and we did a full head cast, back and front, and that's kind of an ordeal for a little girl, and she's incredibly calm and easygoing and had no hassles, and it takes about 15-20 minutes to do.
You alright?
Good job.
You right?
Awesome.
How was that?
Good.
I did that before. It's a little scary, isn't it? No. You didn't do it? I got scared when they did it to me.
She was amazing.
We're a professional fire stunt service. We come in, we train the performer, make sure they're educated and knowledgeable, and work safely with it. Final Destination 3, they required 2 women to burn naked in tanning beds, so we got together and started playing. Came up with a fantastic new formula and gave us the ability to actually, pour fuel directly on someone's skin and set it on fire. No one had ever seen anything like this before. It's very unique, it's very novel, and it's also very dangerous. As for Shonsky and doing this stunt, he'd never played with this before. They brought us in a day in advance. We played with him for 9 hours. And that is some fast track education, couldn't have brought him up to speed any faster. Yeah! It's awesome!
As he's burning, he's actually moving his body in ways that move the gel and control to keep him cooler in spots that are getting warmer. For somebody to catch on to that within 9 hours is pretty remarkable.
Let's ask Xavier what he's doing today, because today's a pretty big day. What are we doing today?
Today we do the arriving of the hazmat in the shelter.
You're up, ready for war.
All these hazmat guys, all these stunt players in these suits. I mean, and they're at the end of the day, they're taking the boots and they're dumping them out, and there's just buckets of sweat coming out. It was incredibly claustrophobic too. To have all those layers on, to have the plastic. I mean, you feel the heat just bouncing back and hitting you. And then to have a hood on and a mask and a helmet, you know, part of me was excited because I felt like Darth Vader, and the other half was kind of bummed because I'm like, I can't breathe.
These are actually not real night vision goggles, believe it or not. So when you put this thing down, you are completely blind. You can't move, you can't see anything, and it holds that much more heat in. Not nearly enough air getting in, but you know what? Who really needs that anyway, huh? I felt my pulse and it was running up at about 140, and my core temperature probably for sure gave what we figured, 104. Your brain normally cooks at about 103. That's why I'm not the smartest guy out there, and now I'm probably more dumber now than I was before.
Put all that, everything physically that you're feeling, and just put it into the scene. Josh is scared. He doesn't want to be there, but he has to be there. So you just take all that, plug it into your work, and let the wheels fall off.
He's baggy ass. How can you take him seriously?
First time I've ever done anything shot in sequence, and it's a blessing.
As a producer, the thing that I've never understood is how actors are able to shoot scenes out of sequence, where they're shooting a scene from the third act on the second day of shooting, and shooting scenes on the second act, you know, at the end of the movie. I've never understood it, and that was one of the things that really excited me about Xavier. Is when I first met with him or on the phone, he goes, I want to shoot this movie in sequence. I want to shoot page one on the first day.
Out of 35 years of working, I've never worked on a movie before that is we shoot in continuity.
The actors that we went out to and embraced it, and they were so excited. And I knew that Xavier had a reason for wanting to shoot in sequence. He wanted to really show the characters evolve from the first day that they come into the basement to 10 weeks later.
I think it's much more easy to work on that way, and particularly in the Divide, where we have the diet for every actor, we have the hairdress process, we have the makeup process. I think it's better for everybody.
So now you know what you've done. And now you can go, okay, well I did that back there, so you know this might not work so well up here, so let's change this.
And that's the advantages of shooting in chronological order, that we have the freedom to, you know, structure the script based on the performances. It's not a plot-driven film, it's a character-driven.
What's great about this as a writer is that we're shooting in continuity, and we have, for the most part, actors that are really open to working and bringing their own contributions to it. It's like, you know, you've given them the baby and they've taken it and, you know, sold it for experiments.
It's a movie who spoke about the power and what can do the man with that power.
The biggest challenge is that most of the crew that have come here are bloody French. So all the locals are standing around. They're the ones having language problems because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing until it gets translated.
My English is really not perfect, and my accent is really strong. And it's quite difficult when you have 8 actors in front of you, because in life I'm sort of a shy guy. And
it's not the first time I've worked with a French director, but it's the first time I've worked with a French director who speaks very little English. which has been a lot of fun. The language barrier doesn't get in the way.
You know, Xavier always apologizes for his English, but I say, hey man, your English is way better than my French, so.
What I've learned is you don't need a lot of words to communicate.
It's funny how, you know, maybe you think your English isn't good, or maybe you're not using, you know, a huge vocabulary, but he'll always give one word that no person speaking English would give, and it just describes everything.
You know, there's something about Xavier in him maybe searching for his words to communicate what he wants that comes across so beautiful. You know, he said to me the other day, Milo, it's like you are like Hiroshima on the inside. And I was like, I'm like a nuclear explosion that wiped out billions of people on the inside. Whoa.
He says, that was so terrible. And we were like, oh, that was bad. And he goes, no, terrible is a great thing. It's good. And so we're like, oh, okay, good to know. You tell an actor that was terrible, and we start to panic.
It's such an encouraging place to come from as an actor when you have a director that speaks a language that is beyond French, beyond English, beyond Spanish, beyond anything.
You crack Xavier's imagination open, and it spills all over the scene, and it goes completely in another direction. The ideas that come out of Xavier's mind are so twisted that if you had any hesitation or fear of anything at all, you would just shut down.
During the preparation of the film, I have made individual meetings with everybody and really opened the script like a playground to work with us and add change, add line, open to the creativity.
Whatever he wants us to do, we're trying to make it work, you know, and he's empowered us to make it better. This is my idea. Make it better. We're all here to help Mr. Jens, our director, realize his vision, and everybody adds.
Yeah, the film's called Divide, but, you know, it's brought a lot of people together, too.
Hey, Aslan, you got something right here? Yeah? No, the other side. Yeah. We became very good friends.
Yeah, really.
Facebook friends. Milo never wears a shirt.
Ever, rarely. It's,
on camera, off camera, he's always shirtless.
I'm shirtless, and a lot of times in this film, I'm in my underwear.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Just underwear and boots. I'm kind of like a go-go dancer. You know, it's not anywhere where you get an opportunity to meet friends that you're gonna know the rest of your life.
Every single night we're all getting dinner and we're all getting drinks and celebrating each other's birthdays and playing practical jokes on everybody. And it's been like being at summer camp.
Do the big mascot.
The big did you want to be?
The big mascot. Do the little mascot.
No, just say
yeah,
that. The little one?
Do the little mascot choking on something. You meet people, you have a rapport, you work, you laugh, you cry, you yell, you hug, and then it's over. And you've got a movie in the can. You know, we all have such a different way of doing things. And when you put that many players in a room, of course, you know, a room that's about that big, personalities come out, and differences come out, and greatness comes out.